everyone. I am so excited to be here again. All right, we are going to dive in. I'm excited for this session, and I'm excited that you're here again. I see some of you guys saying you were back again. The last session was just like, it's so much information. I feel like I need to go take a nap, but we're in it, like 3 days, constant power hour, right? If you are here with your free ticket or your VIP ticket, this live stream is part of the Side Hustle Marketing Summit. My name is Chelly with We Can Make That, and I'm the host of this event. I have been a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer. I've been around for so long, I don't even know what to call myself anymore. But I started out doing graphic design and marketing, and then had that business for about 28 years, and now 27 years. This is October, it'll be 28. And last year, I decided to close it and went all in on my craft business. And I never would have thought that the online space had such opportunities. So I am glad that you're here with me today. So what are we going to talk about today? I'm going to show you my system I use to get me where I am today. And this is what I use for local businesses. This is what I used for other online creators. And I'm going to share those tips with you. And then we're going to talk about the new 2025 planner. 2026. I don't know what year it is anymore. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Christine. All right. So there was some chatter on the last one, and I am using, you guys have some great chats going on, and we are going to give away a planner again at this one. So if you are in here, make sure you're doing some commenting, but we have, they were asking if we could save the chat. And if you're streaming on YouTube, you can save the chat, but I'm streaming from an app called StreamYard. And that one, I went and looked, and it says, as of right now, we can't save the chat on the live. So if we share some links and stuff like that, I'm going to go ahead and put them in the replay. So if you're watching this on the replay, you'll have to scroll through the description. And I forgot to check the giveaway thing again. I tell you what, by the time I get done with these lives, I should have this down. All right. Lots of people coming in from all over the places. So we have California, Reno, and I saw a bunch of others too, and now they're going Rhode Island. A couple things I want to mention. If you're not in the Facebook group, jump in there. We're having extended conversations. We're having deeper conversations. You're able to ask questions and get some answers. And I tell you, the biggest thing that will keep you stuck in your creative business is not if you don't know how to do email marketing, or you don't know how to post on your Instagram page. It's that limbo stage of not getting to that next skill. So the things that I learned to get me to where I am today are achievable by everybody. So all you need is a little bit of information, and they are very much learned. So you do have to have a ticket to get into this Side Hustle Marketing group. So if you are registered, when you register, or when you ask to join the Facebook group, we will ask for your email that you registered with. So make sure you grab your free ticket, and we'll drop that link. And then if you haven't found the Facebook group, you can find it. We send you an exclusive email so that you can get to it. There's also a dashboard. Day 1 sessions are currently live as I'm recording this at 12:30 on Monday, and you'll have until 10 a.m. tomorrow. So that's kind of the rundown of the event. We do still have the VIP tickets. You can grab those. Instead of $127, they are $67, and you can upgrade your ticket. You'll get to keep all the recorded sessions, workshops, and then you will also get a huge bonus pack. So all of that is worth about $2,500. And that came from our speakers. It came from our sponsor. So thank you very much to SmarterQ and to Caesar, who is going to be, SmarterQ is presenting tomorrow on live. And then on Wednesday, you can join Patrick with Caesar, and we're going to be jumping into some fun things over there. All right. I'm excited about this. This is something I developed in 2018, I think it was. And I couldn't decide. So let me tell you this funny story because it's not really funny, but I had started the blog and I'd started the Facebook page, and I started to do some posting and I started to do some marketing behind it. And one day I woke up and I had 800 new likes from the night before. Now, if that was happened today, I would be so excited. I'd be screenshotting it. I'd be sending it to my business friends. I'd be like, look at, yay. But you know what I did? It's like, I kind of like shut down and turned everything off. Went inside. I was like, nope, I don't think I'm an introvert, but I did not want to be out there. I didn't really understand the online space yet. And it's funny because we had in high school, now I'm 51 now, but let's pretend like I'm not that old. So in high school, we had the choice of taking a language class or a speech class. And I took the Spanish class because there was no way on God's green earth that I was ever going to be in front of people talking. I was never going to be on a camera, right? Also, funny story, to this day, I still can't speak any Spanish. Well, I can, but I can say like 3 words, and I learned them from watching Dora the Explorer with my children when they were little. So it's funny how you one day, like, your feet are dug into the ground, into the sand, and this is my line, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm not doing. And then one day you wake up and you're going live and you're doing a summit with 5,000 of your closest business friends, right? So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Stacy says speech, class, and drama. It was like, but you know what I realized? Terry says scary. Terry won the planner at the last live that we have. Congratulations. But what I figured out somewhere between when those 800 people came on and today was what made me nervous and made me not want to do it was not understanding, not feeling confident in what I was about to go on there and talk about. So if I have to go live, like before I went live, it was good. I was shoving my face with some food right before we went live here and answering a couple of questions, and then just jumped on and pushed live. Now, 4 years ago, I would have had to like step off to the side and myself have a few vapors, isn't what they call that? And like come back to it, try to, get in the zone. And it's the one day that it just clicked that if I understand what I'm talking about, I understand how I'm going to put it out there, it makes showing up on camera so much easier. And I am one that my face turns beet red when I get nervous or something like that. So the first, don't promise me you're not going to scroll back. If you scroll back to 2018, you would probably see every one of my lives where I look like the color of my shirt. So I'm here to tell you that was not on my notes and not what we're talking about, but something told me somebody on here needs to hear that. Start showing up and it'll get easier. Start doing the posts and it'll get easier. And the more you do, the faster your business will grow. All right. It does, right? What makes me nervous? The camera on me and everybody looking at me. Like, I don't really know how many of you guys are out there. I'm trying to ignore the little button up here where it says how many people are watching, but yes, imposter syndrome. That's another one. Whoops. Let me get to my other window here. Yeah, we talked about Caesar a minute ago. Patrick is great. He is a ball of energy, and he has such great tips and stuff on there. So I'm excited for that live coming up. Lives and videos scare me to death. Yes. And I like to tell people that I was a photographer just so that I could be on the other end of the camera. But I'm telling you, the more you do it, the easier it will be. That imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't know, like you're not big enough, you're not the influencer, that kind of thing. But really, if you were to go live or to go make a reel or to post something on your page and talk about and pretend like you're talking to your favorite customer or your, favorite friend, and start putting content out that way, and it makes it a lot easier. still can't give a planned speech. I have to talk from my heart. Me too. That is why, thank you for coming back, Debbie. I know I've seen you on our lives before, but I have this whole list of things and how I was going to start this talk today, and that was not it. But hopefully that spoke to somebody. And if you're in our Facebook group, you can jump over there and have a little bit more conversation if you're feeling like getting on camera is scary. The more you do it, the easier it will be. And now, like starting today compared to like 2016, 2017, there are so many different ways that you can show up on camera that you don't have to have your face on camera. So you can be, showing your hands, you could be showing your product, you could be using B-roll or other footage and stuff like that. It's the further we go, the easier it gets. But the more there is, and I'm going to help you rein that in. So tell me this. Also, I did mention we're giving away a planner. That comes from the comments. So we will try to get to as many questions as we can, but we do have another live at 2:30. So we have to make sure that we're done at about 1:30. Okay, so well, you know what? I started to tell you this story and then I got on that tangent about being on camera. So let me tell you, when I started back in 2016, this is how I was going to start this live now that we're 11 minutes in. Okay, so when I first started posting, it was Groundhog's Day. I had this super funny meme and I went to go post it and I made this graphic and I had this cute little description for it. And then Groundhog's Day came and I went to my page, pulled up the graphic, threw it on there. And then a little bit later, I went to go back and check because I often think I'm funnier than I actually am. So I was like, I got to go see who liked my post because I was hilarious today. And I went back to go look at it and realized it had posted twice because I'd scheduled it. And then I posted it on the fly because I was so excited to post it. And I was like, this is not efficient. So I'm trying to manage, half a dozen other local social media accounts and doing conventions with these and doing graphic design and newsletters and magazines and trying to run the blog. And I'm like, I don't have time to post when I feel like posting and making sure, because we had just talked about in the last live, consistency is going to be your biggest king here. If you can show up once a week, if you can show up, once 3 times a day, whatever it is, being consistent is what's going to help. Posting the same thing twice, not so helpful. So with that in mind, my creative brain needs a checkbox. And then I also needed to create a system for how I was going to come up with the content that I was going to post. And that's what I'm going to walk through with you guys today. If you are feeling stuck on what to post, or if you're posting last minute, or there's just no strategy at all, you're going to end up with no sales. You're going to end up with no followers. And that's not what we're out here on our social media business accounts for, right? Okay, I need to stop reading the chat so I can focus. All right, by the end of this, I'm going to give you a mini plan so that when you jump over to your social media, you're going to be able to, it's not going to happen overnight. So I'm going to give you the bigger picture of everything. And I saw in the last one that there was some people who had just maybe opened their Instagram account and during this month or something like that. So I'm going to give you the bigger picture of everything and kind of give you the roadmap to get there. So you might be at point A, you might be at point B, but you're going to be able to see the bigger picture and then decide where you are and when you're ready to jump in. So by the end of this live, you're going to have that little mini plan that you can use for your social media, plus your favorite tool. All right. Christina says she loves a good action plan. Me too. All right. And then if I can use adorable colored pens, keep track of that action plan, double win, right? All right, let me dive in. I started to read the comments here. I'm an attention hog. I thrive on lives and stuff. Some people do that, and I love watching them too. But maybe someday I will get there, but right now I am not. If you feel like I'm great at making plans and then going nowhere, I'm going to show you what the missing link is here. And I think you're going to really love that. All right, I'm going to come back to the chat after we dive in here a little bit. We had talked about a minute ago that consistency beats creativity. It beats those trending reels when it comes to the algorithm. So I had mentioned on a live I did a couple weeks ago that I had made this really funny reel about me cooking a very healthy lunch. And then I was like, well, now I deserve a cookie because we had cookies in the cupboard. And I'm like, so I put a reel out there with something on that effect. And it was one of the higher views that I'd gotten in a very long time. But it didn't do me any good, right? Because I'm not talking about healthy eating. I'm not talking about cookies. I don't know. So I want to make sure that when you're out there and you are creating content on that consistency, that you are creating content that's going to feed the algorithm. In the Instagram one coffee chat that we did before this one too, we had talked about now so many of the social medias are using those keywords. So when I'm out there and I'm making reels, instead of making them about cookies and healthy eating, I need to be making them about running your creative business and, cutting files for your cutting machines and those kind of things. So when people often hate social media, it is because they're only posting when the inspiration hits, or there's no clear goal behind creating that content. Are you selling? Are you trying to make engagement content? Are you trying to educate them on your products? And you're ending up with engagement from the wrong people or no engagement at all. And then we have that dreaded staring at the blank, what do I need to post today? Because I haven't posted in a while and I need to post. I call that the post spiral, right? And so then you end up posting nothing and watching a baby giraffe being born, right? So let's make sure when you are on social media, you are using your time for something that is effective and it's helping you build your business. Yes. So KB says, I personally hate social media, especially reels and videos. So I have to wrap my mind around it and about it being about the product and not me. And I think it's a very common struggle, right? Niche. Yes. Find a niche and stay on that path. Okay. Speaking of staying on the path, look at your notes, Chelly. Stop looking at the chat. I just want to chat with you guys so much. So make sure you're jumping into our Facebook group. If you are a registered attendee, so we won't put the Facebook group on here, but if you go to your email, you will find a link to that. And then if you haven't registered, make sure that you jump in there and register for the summit. So it's going on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week, July 28th through the 30th. All right, so this formula that I use, I'm sure by now you've already guessed, it is connected to the planner. So we have the 2025, and I think right before we went live, I think we only had about 15 or 20 of the printed ones left. Now, you can still get the digital one for the rest of the year. And then for 2026, look at how cute these cupboards are. And I'm not just saying that because I designed them. They're super cute this year, right? Every year, I think they're my favorite. So we also have this one, which is undated. And you can add the dates to the tabs. And then you'll have to go through into the calendar part and add the date. But I'm going to talk you through a little bit more on that. So if you do want the printed or the shipped one, the spiral bound one, you don't want to print it out, you can get the undated one and start with this one today. And then we have the dated ones for 2026, and they've all come with a course. And so as I go through this next step, this 3-part social media success formula, if you are lost on a couple of things, if you're feeling behind on a couple of things, if you get the planner, it will come with a course that will walk you through each one of these. So every single section in the planner has a module. Sometimes they're 8 minutes, sometimes they're 24 minutes, but it'll take you through every single one of them. It'll give you some examples on how you use it for your business, and then how you get to that, next step. Okay. I see some people saying that they've got theirs in 2026. I'm so excited because we get the envelopes today, so I can keep shipping them out. And I'm taking planners out every single day. So I love all these people making strides in their business. All right. So the first step in this is plan it. So we have the plan it, post it, and then profit. And the first thing you want to do is pick your business goal. And if you open up the planner, and if you're absolutely not a planner person, if this isn't your thing, don't worry, don't leave, because you can still figure out how to do this. You can use a notebook, you can use a digital planner, there's plenty of ways. So if you're not one that would ever write anything in a planner, then you can for surely figure out some of these steps, but everything is put together, everything is streamlined. And then every year when I get to a new season, when I get to the holiday season, when I get to the business summit season that I'm doing, I can look at what I did. I can look at what my business did, what my marketing did, what my marketing looked like. And then I can lean into the things that worked and eliminate the things that didn't, add in some new trending. And it's what keeps your business at this level. So a lot of times we start out with, I haven't posted in a while, I need to post. So I'm going to throw something up there. I'm going to throw a meme up there. I'm going to share a video of a wreath that I'm making, or, put it on a reel, throw it on TikTok, whatever. And then you're like, I posted today for my business, so I'm good. Like I just earned a cookie, right? Or whatever. And then at the end of the month, you go back and look and you're like, I was busy every day. I posted almost every, I was very consistent. Let's say I posted every single day or every other day. And at the end of the month, I didn't make the progress in my business. I didn't sell the earrings that I wanted to sell in my Etsy shop. And it's because you didn't first map out what your foundation was. So when you have a business, you need two things. You need a product to sell and you need people to sell it to, right? So when you sit down and you map out, okay, I want to start selling, I want more people to my Etsy shop. So I'm going to start using social media, right? This is the path that many of us take. And then they start posting on social media. And then pretty soon they're like, nobody's buying my stuff. I'm posting every day, but I'm not getting any more traction. I'm not getting any more views over my Etsy store. But did you look at the overall picture of your business and you posted consistently every day on your Facebook page, but you have 200 people on Facebook? Now, if you were to do some social media posts that turn those 200 into 400 and then continue to post those products that you're selling, eventually the rising tides raises all ships, right? So that's what I want you guys to first come with, that planet is, what is your business goal? Okay, I am selling, clay earrings over on Etsy. I have 200 people on my Facebook page. I'm going to work for 3 months straight on my Facebook page to try to build up followers with engagement. So if you just get new people and they're not following you, maybe it's your uncle who's never going to buy your clay earrings, you need to make sure that you're building up followers that are going to get you to where you want to go. So that's number one with your planet. And then your second one is your post-it. And that is where you're going to map out what you're going to do. So maybe you're going to do a Tuesday tip. Maybe you're going to do a Monday meme. So by meme, I mean maybe it's a graphic with a joke or something funny on there. Maybe Wednesday you'll do behind the scenes. And then Friday you'll drop your earrings that will get those people who engaged with you throughout the week over to your Etsy shop. And that's where this system inside the planner comes. So you've got, these are the where you're going to earn money. So is it your Etsy store, your own website? I'm trying to think of another Etsy type store because I'm live. It makes your brain go numb sometimes. Go Imagine, that's another one. So maybe wherever you're getting your income from, maybe you're doing some digital products that you're selling on your website. So you're going to map those out. And then this next page, you're going to talk through those. So what do those categories look like where you're earning money? And then the next page in here, like I said, it's not just a planner. So there's 19 worksheets that are going to help you plan just your business alone. And this is where I map out the seasons. So with the summit, I put the summit on this page. We do, let's see, there's graduation things. So I do a lot of craft things over on the blog, and we have graduation, back to school. So I'm going to map all these out so I can see where I need content to tie into with the products that I already have or the products that are coming. And then there's a couple other pages We're going to talk about the CEO date in a minute. And then there's also some topics that you can throw in there. There's a couple other pages. And then every month, it is good to go back and visit that goal. So make sure that you stay on track. There's a couple other note pages, and then you jump in, and this is where you can organize. Like this week, I'm going to talk about my clay earrings that are pink, or I'm going to talk about the graduation party favors that I have. So you can map out things here. I go through in very much detail in the course on how I use this page. I don't necessarily put on here like my grandbaby's coming to visit, or I have a dentist appointment. I use this as more of a marketing overview. If I'm going to be out of town for like 3 or 4 days, I will map it on this page just so that I make sure I can plan ahead and keep track of everything. But the other thing in the planner here is your CEO date. And this is where it's really going to keep you on track with what you're posting, what kind of engagement or reaction are you getting. So a lot of times, I feel like the teacher holding that up. A lot of times we go out and we look at our apps and we're posting all the time on all of the things, right? There's our other mascot, right, from the event. And speaking of which, hold on, he's trapped in the sunroom. I shut the door earlier because it was thundering so much when we did our first live. And then he's been stuck out there the whole time, but I've been so focused I didn't even notice. Okay, so you're scrolling through and you're posting. And then as you're on the app and you're engaging and you're commenting, you go to your dashboard on your business page and you look at, it's got all those statistics in there, and it tells you that your engagement's down, and it tells you that you haven't posted enough, and blah, blah. And it's like very, very judgy. And so what do? You try to do those things to get those red numbers to green. And then at the end of the month, you go look at your stats and you're like, you know what? I did really good on Facebook, but now I didn't get any more traffic to my Etsy store or to my website. And you know why that is? It's because the algorithm and the stats and all of that in the back end of your social media apps are to help build up that social media. And that's why we have this page, and the CEO training that I go through with the planner will tell you how to look at those numbers and turn them into, more very judgy, right? It'll help you turn them into more sales or more traffic. So the first thing you need is traffic. I heard one time that you need sometimes 100 people over on your, earring post over on Etsy, or on your sales page for your digital downloads or whatever it is. You need sometimes on the average of 100 people, 50 people to get one sale. So sometimes people click through your Pinterest or they click through your social medias. So the more people you can get through there is going to equal your more sales. So again, it's that rising tides raises all ships, right? So now you have we talked about the planet. So you want to make sure, do you need to build up your social media? Do you need to build up your email list? Or do you need to just engage with those? Say you have a few hundred or a few thousand over on your social media, but when you post, it's crickets. So you need to start engaging with them. So that's in your planet phase. And then your post-it phase, you're going to come up with something very, very consistent. And then the last one is the profit. And this is where you're posting consistently, your content is feeding their bucket, the social media's judgy bucket, and then it's also feeding your Etsy traffic or your Facebook or website traffic, and then that's equaling in sales. And that's where a lot of times people get lost in that beginning part and that plan it and post it part, and then they don't get the algorithm correctly for their people. They're not posting with a creator page or a business page, and they're not getting the algorithm and those kind of things. So let me see. We do have, I think Rebecca's still here, so she can drop it in the chat for me. The next live is at 2, not 2:30. Okay, sorry, I said that wrong. We do have the planner, so I'm going to drop that in here, but don't leave me yet. we're going to go through a few more items, but let me jump into some questions. No problem with filming, but learning curve is I don't know how to edit. There are so many tools now that could make this really easy. One of the things that if you were looking for a little bit more training is you could jump into the Creative Business Club. And that is where once a month I jump in there and I show you guys a workshop. So similar to the workshops that you're seeing with the summit, I do one of those a month, and then we do another Zoom where we jump on and do a co-working session. And that is where you can ask me questions. You can say, like, I was using this editing app and this is where this goes awry every time. So we have time to jump in there and unpack some of those questions with you guys. But I use CapCut. I also just use my phone, or I will use the social media app. So if I'm scheduling a reel or if I'm scheduling a TikTok, I will just go right to there sometimes and do the editing on that. Now, if I'm doing a video, like a tutorial, I will do it on like a iMovie, or I will use the desktop version of CapCut. So, all right. Hide. There we go. Okay, next question. I have no problem talking to people, but on camera, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I know. I absolutely agree. And I so thank you for making that comment so that I don't have to feel like I'm talking to myself. Kathy said that she is just now knowing what and how to start on camera, what to use and how. It does take time. It's a process. Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, I think sometimes we feel like some of this stuff, because when you do it and you're trying and it doesn't work, it makes you, I don't know, it makes you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like on the last live, they were like, you can put the chat over, you can save the chat on YouTube. And I'm like, how come I can't figure this out? But I took a minute, did a couple Google searches, realized it does work. It just doesn't work with what Chelly's using today, unfortunately. But I think stepping into, people don't mind. I mean, were people on the last live going, how does she not know how to use this? Maybe, but those people probably weren't my people, right? You guys are here now, and there's still 128 of you guys. So I must not have scared too many off. Stephanie says, editing content can get so overwhelming that I don't end up using video I filmed. I feel this to my core, Stephanie. I used to have that too. And the more I did it, I had a couple projects where I had to do video and I had to edit them. So I had to. And the more I did it, the better I became on camera. Not that I'm great on camera, but I knew what to say when I was recording tutorials here and stuff like that. And it made it easier to edit later. And then now even the software becomes easier. So with this, I'm using SmarterQ. That is a social media scheduling app. With this live, I'm using StreamYard. And now with the updates that they have, whenever I would start recording a video, because I use it to go live, but then I use it to record content for trainings that I put out. And whenever I go live, like I just start rambling and I say really stupid things as I'm recording. And then I have to like stop it. And I would do this to the camera so that I was editing. I would know that was the part that had to be cut out. But now it just lets you restart. So as you keep going and as you keep using it, sometimes the tools will make up for where you feel like you're struggling as well. I know I need to post even when there is no one, but it feels fruitless when there is no one. I agree with this, Amanda, but here's the other, I guess, good part of that is that when you're learning it and you're learning the system and you're putting the stuff out there, if there's not a lot of people watching it, then they're not going to see that content that's not good. So that's one way to look at it. But you can't get to that next level until you go through and do this beginning phase. Stacy says, I find myself scrolling instead of posting. I think that is very common. And then I get busy working on my business and making things and forget to post. I absolutely agree. Okay. And I see some of you guys have got the planner, so I'm excited for that. Kim says she's never had a business planner and she needs to get one. I do think it can be a game changer, especially if you are working full time or maybe you're a full stay-at-home mom and there's just, you need some downtime in order to work on it, or you need to see where you were so that when you do have time to jump in, you know exactly what you need to do. If you feel like you're busy all day but get nothing done, this will help you also. Patty says, I have a planner I've been using and it works for me. Is there any way to get the list of all the great suggestions your planner has until I start with the 2026? Next month, when we have the release of the 2026 planner, when the course is in there, you'll be able to go through that and apply that to what you're using now. Or the other thing you could do is do the digital version and then just go through the trainings for the 2025. And that might help set you up in 2026 a little bit better. Because the other thing is, everything that I'm using today to run my six-figure business is in there. So if you start out and you just opened your social media Instagram 30 days ago, like we were talking about, you're not going to use everything in there anyway. And you need time to kind of absorb or get used to or learn all the different sections. So that might be a good way to step into it without feeling overwhelmed. I generally use the Meta Planner, but I think I need a hard copy to write in as well. Yes. So what I do with mine is on this page, I will go through and I will organize what topics that I have coming up. So maybe we have like a baby SVG that we're doing for the craft blog, right? And then when we go over to schedule it on social media, we have Pinterest, and we're doing all the things now. When you first start out, you probably won't be, and I think using the planner to not necessarily say, here's the text, here's the graphic I'm going to do, but using the planner to say, okay, Thursdays, the first week of the month, I'm going to plan my graphics and take some photos and take some B-roll so that I can create the content I need for the next 4 weeks, that kind of thing. So they go very well together, as we don't want you to be showing up every day when you have to post. We want you to be able to doing it more strategic. Let's see. Silver Knew Nothing said, somehow both her personal and business page have become monetized. I noticed that recently too, that my personal page got switched to a professional profile, which I'm not really thrilled with. So I need to figure out how to shut that off if I still can, but they are letting people take their personal pages and turn them into business ones. And before that, and even now, the majority of stuff I post on my personal Facebook page is just Shelly's personal life. And then every once in a while, I will throw in, things about the summit coming up or the planner is now out or those kind of things. So I will throw in business ones, but for the majority of it, it is mostly my friends and family who don't care what I'm doing in here. So keeping in mind wherever you're posting that you make sure it's your audience that you're talking to. And then she asks, do you figure out when you need to begin making for each session? Halloween, October, yes. So there's a reason if you went to Hobby Lobby right now that there'd be Christmas everywhere, because we're not creating Christmas content in December. People need supplies, people need time, the algorithm needs time. So we're generally creating them about 2 to 3 months out, and it really depends on the topic. Sometimes there's just things that are trending and we make something for graduation, the month of graduation, and post it the month of graduation. But if you can use some of these beginning pages, and that's what I map out on this one, is I map out those holidays that are coming that I know I'm going to want content for. And then I go to the planner pages, the monthly, I don't know if we got to the week page, but then I go and this is the weekly page, and I will map out times to create that content for those different seasons that are coming up. Christina says the digital is great because I can print it and bind it myself. I love the disc bound planners and I can make this planner in that format. Yes, exactly. Whether you want it printed or truly to keep it digital, those help both ways. Okay, let me get back to my notes before I continuously ramble. So a lot of times too, let me give you 3 tips that I love to use with the planner itself. I love to batch the content. So like I'd said, I will do, when I take pictures or when I'm taking B-roll, I know I have some back to school stuff coming up. I know I have some planner stuff coming up, and I will set up my phone, sometimes change my shirt in my office, and just make different photos, take different video of me, create content all at one time. And then I will either, I have an iPhone, so I can just really quickly send it to my computer, or I will drop it in a folder on my phone, so that when I am making reels and stuff like that on my phone, then I have it accessed and I don't have to scroll and scroll and scroll. And it's really easy to just select them all, dump them into an album that I created, and keep them separate. Which kind of reminds me, with the pre-order sale of the planner right now, it's 20% off, which is the lowest price. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll wait, it's, July, I'm not going to buy the 2026 planner yet. I'm going to wait, but this is the lowest price it will be before the new year. So also, if you buy it with the pre-order sale before August 1st, the end of the day on August 1st, you will get the photography replay. So with the Creative Business Club, like I said, we do a marketing type workshop every single month. And one of them that they loved was the photography one. And we have put that in there this year so that you can, if you buy it before August 1st, you will get that with the planner too. And that should be in your cart this week. So if you've already bought it, you will still get access. We're putting it in there. It's kind of a last minute. Let's give them a bonus. Okay, so back to the tips. We have the batching stuff, and then also using those scheduling tools. So again, tomorrow, Smarter Q is giving us a session. They also have a pre-recorded workshop along with their live, and pairing their system with my planner is one of the things that has gotten myself and other people to grow so much faster. Another quick hack too is, when you're posting stuff on your social media, you'll go back and look, and you'll see sometimes a very, very small percentage, sometimes a pretty good percentage that has seen your content. So sometimes that can be very defeating, but actually, if you think about it in a way that it helps you, you don't have to continuously make 100% new content. If you're selling a wreath for Halloween, there's only so many ways that you can talk about a wreath, right, for Halloween. So you can use that content again in different areas. You can use it in a reel. So when I do take photos, like I said, I'll batch photos and take B-roll and all that. So I will take pictures of the planner. I will take video of me using the planner. I will take videos of me flipping through the planner. Like, it doesn't have to be completely new content. It can be 100% all the same. You do want to not post the same exact thing over and over and over again. You want to change up the copy or some of those kind of things with it. But like I said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. All right. We are, sometimes I feel like I'm losing it. The next live is at 2, not 2:30. Okay, and make sure I read that right. So let me drop the link into the chat here for the planner. So the 20, like I said, I think we only had, before I went live, about 20 of the other planners, the current spiral ones left, but you can get the new version undated. And then there was a bundle with the 2 of them. So let me find this is a link to the new. Oh, she got it in there. Thank you. I couldn't see Rebecca. I didn't know if she was down. I didn't know if she was still there. But so we have the link dropped in there. You can click that. If you're watching the replay, we're going to go back and add it to the description. And Heather's getting hers today. That's so fun. I mix a lot of evergreen content with seasonal promotional things. Yes, I think that is very smart. That way you don't have to always be creating new content. Brianna says, I have so many pictures and videos to post, but social media is a whole job in itself. I think it is. And I think if you haven't used the planner, I think you will like it, because what it does is it walks you through what do you need to post on your social media to grow your business. And then when you go out and you create that content and you schedule that content, and then you know in your head that I can step away from it. Like, I could be on my Facebook page 24/7, but is that going to help me grow my business? No. So putting that, boundary on it is very helpful also. Okay. All right. Now, let me look at my notes and see what else I forgot to share with you guys. So one thing that I do want to mention too is, if you are loving these workshops, if you are wishing that you could be sitting here with me and having these conversations and saying, Chelly, look at this. Here's my social media, what I'm doing. How do I bump this up? Here's what I'm doing every day. I would love to invite you guys to apply to join the mastermind that I'm doing. So starting August 15th, we're going to be doing a mastermind. This is going to be your 90 days to success. So we're going to unpack everything that you're doing, figure out where we could streamline you, and lean into the things that are going to make you money or are already making you money, and then help you get those things done quicker. So with the application, we'll share a link to the mastermind page here. You can go over there and check that out. And then we have only 10 spots. So I think there's a couple reserved, and I think there's 4 invites out. So after you apply, there's just a handful of questions that you fill out. We will see if you fit with the other people that are in the group. So I want to make sure that we have a group of people who are in a very similar range. So we don't have people way up here, way down here. I want to make sure that everybody's kind of in the same bucket, so that we can help people do all the same things at the same time, instead of you having to listen to somebody create some of these assets for your business that you already have. We want to make sure everybody's kind of in the same bucket. And then we're going to map through how we can grow that faster as a group. And I would say over the years, having that close-knit community around me is one of the things that helped me grow faster. It helped me get unstuck, to be able to say, this is what I'm doing, and this is what's working, and this is where I'm stuck, and have people share tips and advice to help me get past that is a great mover for your business. But we have, like I said, we have 10 spots, and I think there are 4 or 5 that are probably reserved or will be taken today. But it's going to be very close-knit community. I have a really fun box that I'm going to send you with a bunch of fun bonus items. And if you've already bought the planner, we will give you a refund, because obviously the planner is going to be in there, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about the ladies that are already in there yet. And I'm excited to connect with them further and unpack their businesses, on a one-on-one level. Amanda says, how often do you run the mastermind? I'm still beginning phase, but would love to get to the point where I feel like I'm ready for a mastermind. So the nice thing about a mastermind is it pushes you to the ready spot. So right now, this is the first one that I've officially run. So I'm sure I will do it again. I don't know exactly what the dates will be for the next one, but it definitely will be happening again, I assume. Okay. If you're out of the country, can we still do the mastermind class? Yes, it is all strictly online. Right now, I have it set. You can read that on the mastermind information page that we posted with the comments, but we're going to be meeting Wednesdays at 11 o'clock Central Time. But once we get all 10 members in there, we will kind of reconvene. And if everybody would rather do 4 p.m. or something like that, we can switch it. But right now we're looking at meeting weekly Wednesdays. And then we will also totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, while I was reading comments. So yes, if you're out of the country, that doesn't matter. And there'll be replays. So if you are, the third Wednesday of the month, you can't make it because you have this other business meeting that you have to attend, there will be replays for all of them in your portal. Rachel says, I think I might be ready for a mastermind group earlier next year. I love it. This cracked me up. Fellow Canadian, eh? I feel like we're neighbors. Oh, thank you. I feel like in this day of age of AI bots, and I use AI to write a lot of my copy because I tend to ramble, that you probably already noticed on all of the lives. So I love that. I am here for it. I don't know if you guys saw my email that I sent the other day, but 2013 Chelly needed everything that we're doing here. I was in a situation that was life where I was. Everything around me and everyone around me did not understand. Like, this never would have been possible if I would have stayed where I was. But I found a community of people around me. I got a divorce. I have a new husband who's very, very supportive, which helps, but he doesn't understand email funnels. He doesn't understand live streaming and trying to keep the chat on the screen for the replay. He understands, well, he pretends to understand my sympathetic need to make that happen, but having a group of ladies that I can go to and say, here's what I'm doing, here's where I'm at, what can I do? And that inspiration and that support pushes to the next level, above and beyond. So Chelly, who was taking Spanish and was never going to do this, is now in a different boat because of the community around me. I don't know how you're doing it. I can't even multitask. I think it's just that I've been doing it for so long that it comes natural. And now that I'm an empty nester, I do have more time. I don't have to stop at 3:00 to go run kids and pick them up and sit outside dance lessons for 45 minutes, right? So right now, this season I'm in, I thought it was going to be a lot more boring than it is, but empty nest is not boring, let me tell you. Plus now we have a grandbaby. Did I tell you guys that? Have I said that 17 times yet? Because I feel like I need to. He's adorable. I posted it in the Facebook group if you guys didn't see it. Mary says she has some really supportive, crafty friends and we lift each other up. It is definitely it's definitely the people around you. So thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. All right, let me see if I have any other notes. Does anybody have any questions about the mastermind while we're on here too? Today, I did a workshop on the agenda and the sessions, and life has all kind of come to this big pile. So sometimes I have to really think about what day it is, what sessions are out. But today I have a session on the workshop page. So if you're registered with your free ticket or VIP ticket, you can find my CEO date. So I like to call it Creative Executive Officer instead of Chief Executive Officer, whatever it actually stands for. But I like to sit down once a month and plan out what I need to do for my business, where I need to show up on social media, where I don't need to show up on social media, and how I can use my time more efficiently so that I don't have to be sitting in here 24/7. And that is that. I think that's the saving grace mentally also, because being an entrepreneur, it's hard to shut it off and it's hard to walk away. And when I first started doing freelance and worked for myself, it was so funny because my first husband and I had just got married and we just moved out to this neighborhood, and people would be like, oh, what do you do? And I would be like, oh, I'm self-employed. I'm a graphic designer. And they would do this. Oh, really? And it reminded me, it was really funny because when I got divorced in 2013 and people would say something and I'd be like, oh, we're actually divorced now. And they would be like, oh, really? And I'd be like, no, like, put your head, this is not a sad thing. Like, yes, marriage shouldn't end, but in some cases it needs to end. And I thought it was funny that when I told people I was self-employed and divorced, they gave me that same, oh, like your puppy just died look. I'm like, no, like, this is great. And then 2020 came along and everybody started to work from home. And then now when you tell people that you're self-employed or you're an online creator, they go, tell me more. So it's funny how I have come full gamut through the whole thing. All right, so let me see. Lori, I sent you your invitation this morning. I don't know if you saw it yet, but we would love to have you join us. And it starts August 15th, and then it goes into November. And by the time you're done with that trek, you're going to be so much further. If you're looking for that leap into the next phase, if you're looking to get, if you're on the verge of that messy middle and you're looking to jump to the next era, this is going to fast track that for you. If you take a minute, try to unplug from everything going on around you and read through the Mastermind page, you'll really see the mindset and the shift that it can make for you. But after you apply, we will send you an email and then review the applications. And again, it's not really based on how much money you're making. It's based on your mentality. We want you to have a product. We want you to know kind of who your customer is. We want you to either be on Etsy or your website or doing in-person events. So we want you to kind of have some of that stuff set up already. And then we will use this to push you to the next level. So once I review the application, and we'll see if we're on the same page. And if you're on the same page as the other ladies who are in there, then we will send you the invitation, and then we leave that open for 3 days. So then you could go, there's a payment plan, or there's the outright payment if you want to pay it in full. And then once that's done, your spot is reserved. But we'll give you 3 days to think it over, make sure it's the right fit. We need you 100% in there mentally. And not for 1 second do you need to worry about, is your business where you're at? If you filled out according to the questions, if you answered them honestly, and if you show up like you showed up in your questions, you're going to be a perfect fit for it. There was somebody who applied, and I gave her some suggestions to get some things going. So I gave her a list on some Etsy shop stuff, some email stuff. And when she gets through that phase, which could take her a little bit, then she would be a perfect fit. So I'm not going to just take everybody and anybody who applies. We want you to be in the right spot. And maybe I'll open up one for different phases, but right now this is just kind of the messy middle phase is what we're going with. Okay, let me look. Let me look at the chat. I think you should. You know what? If you apply and go through it and learn a little bit more about it, it's okay for me to say, okay, you know what? I think you're a great fit. We would love to have you join. And maybe you're like, you know what? This isn't what I expected. Something personally happened and grandma got sick and now I got to go take care of her. Like if something like that happened, then you could decide not to join as well. So if you want to join, and then if you're accepted and invited to it, then just let me know that you're not interested and we will move on to somebody else. What camera and microphone do you use for your videos? I just use my iMac. However, I have this really cool microphone in my desk for like 6 months and I've never used it. I should get that out. So a lot of times I use my phone. Over the years, I've used my headphones a lot. These give me a headache, but I do have earbuds that work really well for some people. If you go to, and I bet Rebecca can grab this link on the website, there's a page, and I want to say it's resources or business resources, and there's a couple of lights and stuff like that. I did at one time have a webcam that I used, but then when I upgraded my Mac 3 years ago, I think it was, I just use that camera now. But sometimes I will use the webcam. I can't think of what the brand was, but they are linked over on that page. And we will grab it. If Rebecca can't find it, I will grab it and add it to the chat or the replay. Yay. Like that just made my day. Amy said she is definitely getting motivated. 100%. I think also just knowing that there's other people in that messy middle, there's other people where you are. There's other people who have been in that messy middle and where you are and feeling like there was too much to do and not enough time to do it. It's definitely, you're definitely not alone. Yes, Rachel, there is a bundle for the 2025. It might be sold out. This year I ordered less dated planners and more of the undated planners. So by the next, I don't know if we'll do a business summit like this next year. We might do something different, but next year when we do it, there might not be as many clearanced ones, but there is the undated 2026 version that you can do, or that you can also grab. But if you go to the wecanmakethat.me planners, you'll be able to see the links. If there are planners that are sold and we were sold out because we had put them in a couple different places, we'll have to reach out and either do a digital version or give you a refund, or you can apply it to an undated one. Thank you, Tamara. I love that you're finding so much value in this. Oh, wow. How have I not said that yet? Thank you, Mary. I feel like you need the gold star for today. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and then also make sure you subscribe. And I did yesterday, I think it was, I went in, when you're on YouTube and there's all those headings on there or menus on there, there is a tab called playlist. And if you go to the playlist, there is a Side Hustle Marketing Summit playlist with all of the lives that we're doing. All of the live streams will be in there. Let me see. I think that is all of our questions. Mary says, I create horrible videos and I leave them and just let everybody know I'm a real person. And sometimes if you do it messy, then next time you can do it less messy, right? All right. Is there a huge difference between the 25 and the 26? So besides the dated version, there is some AI things that we're doing in the course. So the planner themselves, marketing over the last 28 years, I've noticed hasn't really changed all that much, but how we're showing up on social media has. So there are some AI modules that we're adding in there. There's the photography bonus video replay from the Creative Business Club. And then that's probably the biggest spots. There was a couple things that I changed. And with the lights of my camera, I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but they are very similar. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? All right. I love this. Thank you for joining me today. So just to run through, if you go to wecanmakethat.me/marketing/toolkit, that is linked on a bunch of the summit pages themselves, you will find, but it walks through kind of where you are in the journey. So the 3 things that I offer to help you with your marketing on a regular basis is the planner with the course. It's really a course with a free planner. I should start wording that different. And then the second one is the Creative Business Club. That's where we meet monthly and do a workshop. And then we also meet monthly and do a co-working session. And then the third thing is the Mastermind. And those are kind of the 3 things that we run through. And then I do things like the summit that you're in right now and those kind of things. Amanda says this is her first summit for crafty business. I love it. What do you use to film? So I usually use my iPhone. I updated, it's not the newest one. I want to say it's 2015, but the camera on here is amazing. So I've just been using that. I got a DSLR camera and I don't know, I think it was broke. I think it had a crack in something and they could never figure it out. So I have pretty much been using my phone forever. I did have that separate webcam that I used for a while, but for the most part, it's all done with my phone or just my regular video from my computer here. I spend a lot of time in the seat and then I have a desk that rises and lowers. Where is the checklist again? Which checklist? Are you looking for the checklist with the workbook? So that was on your dashboard. The 3 things that I offer, that's on the marketing toolkit link right here. So I think that was maybe what you were asking about. All the wonderful people and great inspiration. I'm glad that you're having so much fun with everything. All right, I think we're ready to pick some names, and then we'll get ready for our next workshop coming up, or session. Mary says she loves her light box. It helps with taking good photos, very much so. And if you're having trouble with photos, you're also going to love the simple free ways I show you, are almost free, that I show you how to take some really good photography. But there's also a workshop from Chelly, a different Chelly than was on a few minutes ago with me. But she is a product photographer, and she's giving you guys some great tips for that. All right, so we are going to do a printed and a digital planner. And let me see, I just saw her name. I'm going to pin it. Mary's Crafty Creations. You have won the 2025 and the printed planner. So if you don't have one yet, we will ship you one. And if you've already purchased one, then we'll credit your purchase price. But if you could send us an email to hello@wecanmakethat.me, we will get you your prize. All right, now we need a drum roll. Congrats, Mary. Now we need a drum roll for the digital one. Wait for it, wait for it. Hold on, I need a drink. Oh, Mary's in Canada. Okay, so Mary gets the digital one. And now we're doing a drum roll for the printed one. Rebecca's like, what? Where? Yeah. I love the little drum roll icon. Well, I'm glad that you're joining us from Canada. So many different locations, so many different countries even. It's been fun to watch. As I let people into the group, I really do check out what kind of things, where you're from, just not really stalk you, just from that page itself. That sounds a little stalkery, but okay, so our digital one is, or no, our printed planner is Lindsey Wilcox. I would like to say that last name, but I think I will butcher it. So I'm just going to leave that up there. So Lindsey, congratulations. We have the printed planner for you. So again, email us at hello@wecanmakethat.me. If you have any trouble with the videos throughout this, if you go to, whoops, I think we spelled your last name wrong, but I'm sure you'll find us. Let's see if I can see her in the comments here. We'll see if she's still here, because if she's not still here, oops, and then I hid my own comment. There we go. What was I saying? Oh, tomorrow, day 2, 10 a.m. Now, everybody's clock is off by a couple minutes. If you go there when your clock says 10 a.m. and you don't see day 2, if you could give me like 4 minutes of breathing room, 8 would be even better. But the other thing you want to do is refresh your page. And sometimes even though you hit that refresh button, it still thinks that you want that old algorithm. So make sure that you refresh it. Close your browser if you need to close your browser, that kind of thing. And that will help you get to day 2s. So the sessions are good for 24 hours. And then I'm reading the comments and rambling. Control F5 for a hard refresh. Megan, you might be my hero. We're trying that tomorrow. Because even today when I was setting it up, I had to do the the hard refresh. I'm on a Mac, so I didn't do that step, but I was like, what is going on here? I thought I was losing my mind. Okay, so we'll be back at 2 and we'll be doing the next live for today. And then you can jump into the pre-recorded sessions and we'll be back again on Tuesday, also at 11. Right. Thanks, everybody.